Yeah, man, it's the one only DJ Chase, Worldwide Sounds Record Zone, man. DJChaseRadio.com, DJChase.net, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio Podcast, and Spotify Podcast. You know this, man. But enough of all that. We got the super dope, the talented, my guy Katrell The Phenomenal repping. Okay, as he says, born in Mount Vernon, but repping South Carolina. What's good, bro?
Yes, sir. Peace, brethren. How you doing, man? Thank you for having me, bro.
Of course. I'm on autopilot right now, so sitting here trying to get this promo and everything done. So I'm chilling though, man. How's the weather down there?
Yes, sir, man. Beautiful, man. Another day above ground to get things accomplished. get my goals.
For sure, man. Now you grew up in now. I want to ask this question, right? I'm in New York. Now you was born in Mount Vernon, but you were raised in South Carolina. Copy.
Yeah, wait. My mother was in New York. I was raised down here, but my mother, her sister, they New York. So I was in the household down here in the South. That was a different experience.
Copy, man. For sure. Now, growing up, and so you grew up more or less in South Carolina, correct?
Yes, sir. My adolescent years, and then my teenage years, we moved to North Carolina, and then that's where I graduated.
For sure. Now, how was it growing up?
High school from.
Got you. And how was it growing up in South Carolina? Like, it's totally different from New York. It's a lot slower, especially like in the 90s and the 2000s. So how was growing up in South Carolina?
For me, it was I appreciated it as I got older, and now that I'm older. Just like because they were farmers, laborers, skillsmen, tradesmen, so like a lot of in communal. So I caught like the tail end of that community, like on the spot, because you could check somebody doing something harmful or destructive to themselves or the community without too much flack. You maybe deal with their mother, but everybody still stuck together. So that was the community I was raised in, and feel like I'm privileged to be a part of my ancestors. So work hard. You don't work, you don't eat.
Exactly. Unfortunately, New Yorkers think that money grows on trees. So, everybody, it's weird out here. So I appreciate you saying that. And who did you grow up listening to growing up? Like, who did you listen to growing up?
Oh, man. Oh, wow. Gospel, primarily. My cousins, like I had a lot of my relatives were on the gospel scene and like active musicians in the gospel realm and industry, gospel music industry, I guess would be. But so gospel, but as far as the secular or it would be like jazz, Rick James, like Luther Band, because my mother's a music teacher. She's a band director by profession. So I mean everything though, like from temporary, I was a smorgasbord, but like well-rounded due to my mother. So my mother was the influence to all of that access.
Copy. Now you are retired military.
So if I had to say hip hop or rap, yes sir.
No, finish what you're saying. I'm gonna finish it. Yeah. I was gonna ask you about the military.
For as far as the hip hop, so my earliest memories for hip hop and rap though would be from my uncle, from like Rakim, KRS-One, that tree, that era. As far as the musically rap or hip hop, that culture was the introduction. So, but in military, yes, I retired out of the military, the U.S. Army in 2015. So I've been out for a while now.
Copy. What made you go to the military?
A change of scenery, and I feel like now that I'm learning and doing the different strategies and techniques about healing and exploring like the roots of issues and problems and like mental health and things like that. Like an escape, because I didn't have to go. Like by the time I went, I was old. I didn't go straight out of high school. I had to been out in the world a little bit, living, and experiencing life. So, but it was like I think an escape, because I had just moved back home from Virginia, and my mother was down and depressed because she had just lost her mother, my grandmother. So from there, I was like just trying to be there for her. But with my transition, I transitioned too, and the route that I went, for me, it was at that crossroad for me to, with the crowd I was with, do something different that I'd never done before. And the military was something different that I'd never done before versus what I'd been doing and who I was running with. And I still love them and my brothers, but our lives turned out totally different. And there's a very similar going the route that if I had stayed that route.
For sure. And let me ask you a question: like, how does the what you've learned in the military affect how you treat the music business? Because it's totally, even with me, I'm technically kind of a federal employee, but it's not as disciplined as the military. But we're still kind of centered in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Very centered. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying. So it's like, how do you apply that discipline into the music business?
See, man, you come with the great question, the good question, because it's like war. for me. So automatically, I come with that technique. Like, so as soon as it's like the art of war for me, to be honest. So I don't even move like a regular. It's like the art of war. So I like a mission. I have a mission. I have an objective. I have a goal. But it's with, so I know how to build. I know how to stand on my own as an individual soldier, and I know how to stand as a part of a team and a unit.
Yeah, for sure. And how does it? I wanted to ask you, like, where did you where was you stationed at in the military? Because that plays a big part in your music as well too. Like, where were you stationed at?
Yes, sir. I started in Germany. I went through my basic training in South Carolina right here at home, and then they sent me to Georgia for my tech school, my AIT, Advanced Individual Training, which IT. I think it would still be called IT now. Yeah, IT was my profession for computers. So they helped me, because I didn't know nothing about a motherboard, nothing, so they helped me hone that skill set. So that was in Georgia, and then from Georgia they sent me to Germany, and then I was in Germany for 5 years, and then from Germany I moved to Japan, and then by that time I acquired a family, and we moved to Japan for 3, and then from Japan we went to Korea for a year, and then from Korea they sent me back to Fort Bragg to retire me out.
That's what's up, bro. So you just chilling right now. For sure. Now
more work to be done, man.
I know, for sure. That's for sure.
Legacy work.
Now I want to ask, because South Carolina really don't have, like, North Carolina is the big music hub, but South Carolina really don't have nobody that's big yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I forgot his name. He's signed with the baby. He's with the baby. I forgot his name. You know what I'm talking about? Dark skinned dude, Black Zach. I think he's from South Carolina, right? Yeah. So how do you feel about the
Black Zach got it?
Yeah. I think he's from South Carolina. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how do you feel like? Okay, what do you feel like will make you stand out from the South Carolina music scene?
My individuality, my authenticity, like already just my logo alone, just everything, my presentation. I know I'm not my what would I say? That's a great question. My essence, but who I am, because I don't do what everybody else doing. So automatically by default, I stand out. And even with my music, it's different. Like you can play an industry record and like this is coming from other professionals in the industry. They play it's like, I got to get the market in there, but understand. But it's just being me, bringing what I have to offer, and my teammates and our collective, man. The presentation is undeniable, man.
Yeah, for sure, man.
The undeniability. That'll be my short answer. The undeniability.
Nah, you good. And what made you start getting into music? Like, what made you want to get into music? Like, what made you say, like, you did the military, you did your thing in the military. Once again, you honorably discharged, so you chilling right now. What made you want to get into music? Like, what made you just wake up and say, I want to just be an artist?
Honestly, it was about just me supporting some of my homies or some of my friends that were doing the artistry, that was doing music, but I was just a feature act, honestly. And then from that, me being a feature act, I started getting noticed, but that was never my objective to be a star or anything of that nature. But once I had my family, I started looking into the business of music. So I had some good mentors and good like minds around me.
Yeah.
And, they acknowledge my they acknowledge my business acumen. So put me on some information like this music a bit. What is it? The music. It's some business readings and books. They put me on too. And I was like, I need to eat off this. So what's the most lucrative and proper? How can I make money? How can I generate revenue from this industry or from this business? So I approached it even as an artist, as a businessman. So off the rip, my mentality I seen numbers like watching this, like the money that was being generated in that industry, I was like, oh snap. So I can potentially be a part of, those numbers. So
yeah.
Ideally, honestly, I took the route of production because as I started studying and getting a little bit more experience, making my rounds, I was going to all the little meet and greets and network, pulling up all of that, seeing who's who, rubber elbow, all of that. So just went through all of that process, and just figuring that at that time, that's when I was figuring out really what I still was doing open mics and rapping and trying to collaborate and things of that nature, but the business ethics was different. Like some people, they don't, and not even attacking nobody but the clique.
Nah. Trust me. We talk about it all the time. We talk about it behind the scenes all the time. Like these people are bugged out. I'm like, the real world don't work like this. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. So with respect to when in Rome, but I'm just not a Roman ass. I'm not a Roman. You
Yeah,
know, I do my own thing. I'm Moorish. I'm more like, I'm different. So I peeped the game, peeped the scene, learned the schematics, and then went back to what I was doing and just adjusted fire because I didn't come to take or harm, but I came to compete and participate too.
definitely.
So I want, I felt like once I learned the business a little bit better, I seen that production, the actual engineers, the other areas of that where these artists or these different entities need those services. So I approached it from that route as a service provider in the music industry
There you
versus
go.
just the artist or just the
Yeah,
producer or just the engineer, the filmmaker, the director,
yeah,
all of these different things.
yeah, no doubt. And you know what? And I like to
Open
hear
up
that.
different doors.
Yeah, and I like to hear that because a lot of the young guys, they especially in New York, they think that they just have to be a rapper. I'm like, there's way more money behind the scenes, like buku money behind us. Like it's unlimited amounts of money behind the scenes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like with being an artist, you're only limited to your fame. You're not limited. You know what I'm saying? Behind the scenes, you can be whoever you want. So it's cool. For sure. Now I want to ask you about some music, right? Because you're very skillful. You're very skillful rapper. You're very technical with your rapping. When you write music, right? Do you say, okay, do you approach? Do you like hit a beat first and then write, or you like make the beat and then write around that? Excuse me.
It's organic. I got you. Yes, sir. It's organic. Now the beat have to move. Like it have to the frequency like has to talk to me. Like matter of fact, like the record you blessed me with, that I'm trying to give too much. Hey, I'm like, yo. So like record feel energies, like productions like that. Material like content, production like that, bro. Like so it has to move. But it's but then I've been told I'm really well versed with hooks too. So like, cause I cannot be in the mood to write all right, but if the cipher, the energy right there, especially if it's in a sense like a studio lock-in, we there to work. Like I can go ahead, I'll be more productive in the time and with hooks. And then if for my verses, if I don't feel it, I can pin it within a matter of minutes, in a reasonable time. But if I'm not happy with it, I'm like, yo, put this brother, somebody else that's more, go and get us a nice, well-rounded, complete product. So but it just has to move me, man, because I don't have a set like it gotta be like this, because I rise to the occasion too, because it's been some guys I like, yo, because I'm a fan still too, or an admirer of other skilled swordsmen, like so I'm like, yo, this is crazy, like, so then that make me elevate, step my game up too. So it's just and so collaborations, I started out as a supporting act, so that's why I really feel like I signed too.
Got you. And what do you like better? You like the studio better, or you like the stage better?
Man, this is both. I feel comfortable both, honestly. But the studio feel more like I belong there. Like it's like outside of being with my C's and my queen, my wife. Like it feel like that's what I'm supposed to be. It feel right. It feel natural. And then when I performed on stage doing live with the live bands, it felt good. It felt right. It felt proper. So I enjoyed aspects of both.
Yeah. For sure. Now, I want to ask this question. Now, being from South Carolina and being, like you said, you was exposed to a lot of different styles of music and stuff like that. Who would you say would, like, even in North Carolina, who would you want to say is popping right now that you would collaborate from South Carolina? Who would you like one artist that you work with from South Carolina that you rocking with?
I pretty much work with who I wanted to work with. I worked with them already. But
got you. That's up.
Yeah, seriously. Like it's been mutual respect, mutual like understanding, competence. So, but it's the brother Conscious out of South Carolina. He's a lyrical assassin, man. He's ridiculous. He's another young brother, G-Lo Poppy is his stage name, out of South Carolina. And they popped the Fat Felix is another gentleman. Saint Diego out of North Carolina. Free. Marco Mars, we have some stuff brewing out of Fam First out of North Carolina. And that's pretty much right now as far as hit that I wanted to work with, that I was striving to work with, that I've accomplished working with them.
Fire, bro. Now let's get into some music right now. The single while we hear, Darlin featuring Free and Katrell The Phenomenal. Now I want to ask this question, right? First of all, is Free signed to True Brilliance, or how's that working? Is Free just how did y'all link up for that one?
So we linked up through a mutual friend. Shout out to bro Jarek, man. I appreciate you, dog. But he knew I've been doing my thing. He knew I had my production coming for a while and been productive and progressive in my endeavors. So he was working with a young lady and he linked us up one day. Him and I linked, and then he's like, "Yo, I got a single for you." Like that. He thought so. Some people are still under the impression I am a label. A label coming very soon, but she's not signed to us. We're partners. I'm more on the management side and artist development side.
Yeah,
that's my dog. But and she's a great businesswoman too. But anyway, we came through Jared. He get me called and she sung. He asked her to sing for him. And I'm like, I don't be pressed because I know people working. She was doing some hair, doing her thing. So I'm more like let's meet up, work, But anyway, long story short, she sung within a couple of notes where I was like, yo. When can we link up? Like, I got beats, I got studio. What you need, I'll come to you right now. Yeah. Like whatever you need, because it was like that. She hit some notes off of that Lauryn Hill. Which I think it was that thing. Like I'm messing up the memory, forgive me, but she hit some Lauryn Hill joint, and that was nostalgic, and I had all the good feelings, and I was like, oh, that's it. I'm sensory overload. So within a matter of weeks, we was up in the studio, and that originally was her record. Like I wasn't even. I've been trying to ease back from being a feature. I will, to get it done. But that was her record. But she she asked me to jump on, and I felt honored, and it moved me because once I heard her lay her stuff down, I was like, oh yeah, I'm with it. Got in there, and that. See, matter of fact, for that particular record, I didn't have anything prepared. But what I did is I took a snippet of some old bars. Like I know other writers and rappers, other creators know. So I had maybe 8 bars, and then from there I finished the rest of it right there, recorded it one take, and there we go. And I actually went back like a week later because I was like, nah, I gotta do it right. Like in the engineer, her, my mother, and another one of my partners was like, nah, bro, that first way is the way. Like it felt right, but I was like, nah, this. And the engineer was like, if you ask me, you trust me. And that's Ted Etheridge. He's a Emmy Award-winning engineer out of North Carolina as well. I think he's out of Oak City. But he was like, nice. Bro, take it from me, bro. Yes, sir. He's like, take it from me, man. If you believe or trust anything I've ever told you, like that first take was it. But I still, so even now, I'm kind of like, I could have did better. Like that type of attitude. Because I had rehearsed it. So I can't. So I was like, flipping it and flowing with it and all of that shit. Like she laced it. She bought the record home, man. She really gave it life. Because I had that beat from my brother. Doom got beats. Shout out to Doom. I had that beat probably like 6-7 years and never really, So and that's how it came together. Here we are now, and it's getting great reviews and positive feedback.
Yeah, there we go. That's why I've been working. Yeah, that's what it is too. Because a lot of artists they get offended sometimes because I don't get to. I'm like, bro. I have so many music submissions a day. It's impossible for me to listen to everybody's. Even if you bribe me, I'm like, listen, the money is not worth the headache. It's impossible for me to. Some records I just cannot play because it's just not good music. You know what I'm saying? So that record is fire. Like I actually like that song. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. And I wanted to ask you this too because you don't really have too much music on streaming. Is there a reason behind that?
It's a reason that I don't. Yes, but with the art. The different me still growing and adapting as well because I'm still like in your face like I'm gonna pull up like yo getting street teaming type like through the people. That's me like wherever New Jersey I'm pulling like the ones I know they know like that I made my name like hey, bro pull up like so and with my brain like oh that's bro that's buddy they don't know nothing else about his business so let them whatever so I done rambled and lost my train thought. Can bring it back. Help me come back, DJ Chase. What was the question again?
Now you straight. No, I was asking. I was like, because I know you sell. Because the reason I asked the question, I was like, okay, streaming. So now the reason I asked that. Now the reason I asked that is because everybody's we all posted on our Spotify rap for this year. Like we got it last year. So even like with me, I sell. So people don't know. I only posted that, but I didn't post that I actually sell music directly on my website. So that's why I'm like, when artists, if people like, why the numbers like this? I'm like, first of all, I'm a producer. You should see the numbers from my artists that I produce. Those are just me. I'm not a rapper, so I'm not competing with rappers. So I'm like, I'm not competing with a rapper. Like, those are just beats that I just put on the internet. Those are not even who I'm selling directly to my website. So is there a particular reason why, as you understand the business, you don't have as much music on streaming? Is there a reason behind that?
Nah, because for me, I'm anal about everything I do with my art, my intellectual property. First foremost. So now I don't be just giving all my shit away free to the public. I went through that phase with the mixtape rapping over. I did all of that before I had a better comprehension of how the business works. So for me, I'm direct to consume. So to the people, like for instance, for me, I made more money selling my merch and stuff than music. So I'm still, so as far as the music side, finding artists are finding a niche, are finding a way to go ahead and push through and make it worth investing in that to see them, because I understand that too. I'm gonna have to put more into the advertising, everything that go along with that to see that ROI. But it just hadn't even really been that prominent or a focus for me financially, because I do so many other things as well. Like we do Fergus, we do soap, we do buy, and it's been pretty beneficial and profitable for me. So now focusing and honing in on music with my album I've been putting together for the last 5-6 years. It's a compilation project, and I'm just really I'm kind of like the host, and I just been but making sure that I understand that everybody that's contributed to that, I can have a very fine understanding, and or have a legal, have my lawyer, my entertainment attorney go help me come legalese, like that everybody's getting paid or compensated for the work they put in. So that's what I've been going, because I've been investing and stuff not coming through. So I got no excuse. I take accountability, but we mapped the plan out, and the plan don't come in like that. I have to make an adjustment. Or if I put this budget behind this artist or behind this project or behind this endeavor or behind this venture, and that don't turn my bread back, I got to adjust. So on that note, for me, it has the people I'm with now, it's real profitable. I'm with Grammy, like it's real. It's about to be really, I think it's about to be more beneficial and profitable and lucrative than ever before.
There you go. Now, see, you know what? I appreciate that answer, because once again, like I said, I love my city, but they really are not understanding how, and I'm saying that as just like a OG in the game, like been around artists a long time. And I'm like, this is not how this works. Like, it's just wrong. It's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? So, I appreciate that answer. And before we get out of here, I know you got to run and I got to run too.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask you two questions. I'm going to ask, do you have an EP coming out or no? Like a full body of work? Like a full body of work for yourself. Yeah.
Oh, not me as a solo artist. No, I don't. But as a compilation but I have 5. But yes, I do have one. One of my brothers just finished up the first iteration, because every time I've been dropping over the years, I drop like series. Like I got a whole cap, so like I understand I understand how it works and media, all of that. But for me, it's still I've been more still with the pushing these artists. That's like, if that's really what they want to do, be in the spot, getting more behind one or that artist that feel like they ready to go. The artist that's already doing for themselves, and we just help each other. Let me help you type situation. But as far as for myself, I'm perfectly fine making beats. I'm perfectly fine selling fragrances. I'm perfectly fine educate, because I teach youth how to make. I'm perfectly fine being like who I am in the community, like being able to go to the and help like without all the extra that surrounds that could potentially, because as far as the monetary, yes, we have several projects we're preparing to get out to the public. But for me as a solo, I don't really, it gotta move. Maybe one day it moves, but then I'll be able to do everything myself.
Well, you see the single I had to send you, I had to send you some work real quick, so for sure.
Thank you. For sure.
Got you.
We definitely gonna get some nice work on that for you.
Got you. Yeah, and my last question, man, before we get out here is, what advice? Because like you said, you mentor children, you've been in the army, so you know what it's like to be in that life or death situation in life. You know what I'm saying? That's what I try to teach people myself. I'm like, what you thinking? Yes, the internet is not what you thinking. It doesn't work like that. So, what advice do you have for anyone trying to get into the music business?
Educate them. Education. Educate yourself, whatever it may be in that field or in this business. Just educate yourself. So if you want to be a artist, educate yourself in what I guess what would be what's the word I'm looking for? This is eluding me now, but as much educate yourself as much as possible. Find a really good mentor, and study. I mean, right now with the internet, the access to whatever you want to know about, you can essentially find it. So educate yourself. I feel that's very important. Like, because that being able to make more informed and educated decisions, I think that'll help too, and with the goals they're attempting to accomplish. I feel like.
For sure, my brother. Thank you, Katrell The Phenomenal. I'm gonna say, can I say KP? Yeah. I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, man. You call me whatever.
Okay, copy. I was like, can I say KP? I was like, can I say KP? All right, my guy KP The Phenomenal. You know this, man. We here, man. Tell people where they can find you, man. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, man. Tell people where they can find you.
Thank you for having me, brother. You can find me on Instagram at KP The Phenomenal, KP ThePhenomenal, or at True Brilliance _ and that's True TrueBrilliance _ and that's named after my sons, Truth and Brilliance. I work for them.
There you have it, man. It's the one and only DJ Chase, the Pregame Party Minutes podcast, man. My guy Katrell The Phenomenal on streaming platforms, KP behind the scenes. You know, there's that new single free featuring Katrell The Phenomenal on streaming platforms. South Carolina, you know this, man. DJChaseRadio.com, WDJCDB, DJ Chase Radio, DJChase.net. Get that merch. You already know this, man. Spotify podcast, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube DJ Chase TV. It's the Pregame Party Minutes podcast. Yeah. DJ Chase TV.
It's official. Come on. Locked in with DJ Chase on the Pregame Party Mix podcast.